Joining us now, political strategist Lucy Caldwell. She served as campaign manager for Joe Walsh in the 2020 Republican presidential primary. Welcome.
Let them eat tariffs.
Let them eat tariffs.
It's like his own Marie Antoinette moment, isn't it?
Yes.
It really is.
So the Walmart debacle, and to be clear, Walmart is just who we're talking about because that's who the White House has decided to single out here on this, because they did speak up on their earnings call and say, do not be surprised. We're going to have to end up passing some of these costs on to you all. And as an economic reporter cautioned me the other day, they said, well, they don't have to, but they have a responsibility to the shareholders, so they're choosing to. Here's my thing. Are Republicans not concerned that you have the president of the United States trying to tell the companies what to do, the CEOs? Like, it feels a little communist-esque to me.
Yes, it's a little kind of, it's a bit kind of command and control. It's not so free enterprise.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's giving a bit of socialism. It's interesting. I was thinking about his attitude toward the Walmart CEO and his attitude toward CEOs in general in industry. And I was thinking today about how we've had such a shift in our economy where so many of the people that we think of as like the titans of industry or big American companies don't actually sell widgets, right? It's like tech companies, right? So it's Zuckerberg or, it's OpenAI, whatever. But we don't eat cans of Instagram soup, right? We don't lay our head down on Facebook pillows or we don't drive OpenAI cars, right? And ultimately, we all still have to feed our families. We have to supply the things that make our home run, make our businesses run. And so really, I think Trump is putting himself where he's up against a wall in just ignoring the very fact that, look, there is supply and demand, right? Demand for food, for affordable groceries at Walmart is not going down. And the let them eat tariffs, that is not going to work. And it's going to show up electorally a lot sooner than he thinks.
A can of Instagram soup feels like some millennial dystopia.
It does.
But there's the issue here that he is still, and this is the thing he does, he's claiming it all as a win. And he can't seem to decide if this is his economy on the days that it is good or Joe Biden's economy on the days that it's bad. This from Politico, I think, sort of summed it up. The White House is indiscriminate about what announcement it claims come from the Trump effect. Some have been in the works for years. Simone, you were referencing that. Others are in line with what the company would have invested regardless of the tariffs. Some are inflating, adding previous investments to new pledges. So he has lost, and yet he is going to take a victory lap. Politically, how do you contend with that mixed messaging?
Well, I really think that we have to blame some of our media institutions and people who are letting him do this narrative, right? If we're going to focus in on millennials, we will have no hot tariff summer, right? We have got to cut him off at the bend, because what happens is that we're in this cycle where, and by the way, Donald Trump's economic policy has been like the biggest gift to meme makers that there ever was, right? Because we've all seen the meme of like the guy and he's pressing the button, like does something bad, rolls it back, does a good thing, does the bad thing, right? So, but we're now getting socialized, and it's not funny, right? This is how authoritarians normalize people to their insanity.
And incompetence.
Exactly. We're socialized to the idea of like, oh, actually, it's okay because he paused the China tariffs. So now the economy is recovering from the burst. Or, oh, actually, we do have supplies coming into the LA port. We have supplies coming in because companies are bracing to be able to make sure that they get supply in, as we've just heard. And so we have to stop doing that. We have to stop ever praising him for this. We have to stop letting Scott Bessent, a person who knows better, go on and claim that this is some masterful art of the deal. We have to all collectively participate in ending that kind of narrative, that there is somehow an art to this and that somehow we should praise him when he rolls it back. It is all chaos, and it is an authoritarian playbook, quite frankly.
Look at Michael's face. What is this face?
No, this face is just
thinking about the rompers.
Thinking about the rompers.
No rompers this summer, ladies.
No rompers this summer. No,
get to Zara quickly.
I mean, Lucy she just struck a chord with me. I'm just pissed off at the level of just the way the press talks about this in large measure, the way our politicians kowtow to it. Families are going to be hurt. They're going to feel the impact of this in a real way. And there's no amount of slimy, slithering Trump BS that's going to offset that. Because at the end of the day, this is his economy. It's not Joe Biden. God bless you, Joe, by the way, right? But this is not his economy now. Everything that's happening since January 20th is because this president decided to turn that screw. And what makes it worse and more galling to me is the fact that the Republicans on Capitol Hill who sit back in their little desks on the floor or in their little committee chambers, and they just let this happen without any response, without any care about the fact that it is their constituencies from Alabama to Mississippi to New York to wherever who are directly impacted by this, one. But more importantly, or just as important, the lack of a philosophical mooring anymore to anything that makes the least amount of sense when it comes to economic policy.
Can we actually put a pin in that and just to underscore everything you're saying, take a listen to Senator Hagerty and what he had to say about Walmart's prices?
If Walmart decides that they have to raise their prices, do you think that that's un-American effectively?
I think Walmart's going to have to make its decision, but Walmart has the broadest base of American clients there is, and I think they're going to be very careful about how they do this. I know that they've received some criticism from the president. I think they need to think hard.
What the hell do they have to think about?
Yeah, I mean, this is also so classic Trump, right? Because Trump, when he ran in 2016, he was on stage with Hillary Clinton in a debate, and she was like, this guy doesn't pay his taxes. This guy doesn't, he's like price gouging people at his apartment buildings.
He bankrupted a casino.
That makes me smart. That makes me smart, right? I'm a hard driving businessman. That makes me smart. And now Walmart, as you say, a company with really very, very tight margins, is like, these are prices that are going to have to get passed on to consumers. And Donald Trump is aghast at this. And the only member of the Senate who is actually staying at all true to fiscal conservatism, to the stuff that you and I were once part of a tradition around, is Rand Paul. Like,
right.
What bizarre world are we in that Rand Paul is the lone voice of some sanity in the Republican Party?
Yes, he's the lone person speaking up, which I do think is, I don't know if it's the chilling effect or if people think, and by people I mean Republican senators and Republican members of Congress in the House, think that by going along publicly and maybe quietly pushing back is going to get them something. But even Johnny Walker, Johnny Walker, they make whiskey,
and this is getting
Guinness
serious
beer,
now.
Smirnoff vodka.
This is getting real serious.
They expect a tariff hit.
Of course they do.
Not to mention the tariffs that are still on the EU. That's where champagne comes from, the Champagne region.
The
you
number
can see the
of
look on her face.
American products made actually in other countries. Levi jeans, Chevy Silverados, Brock mints,
Kentucky
Gerber
bourbon made
food.
in Kentucky that was bought a lot by people in Canada previously.
But go ahead.
Well, and yet he's going to the G7, and the administration has said, don't expect any trade deals.
Of course not. Hold on a second, people, because as someone who used to work at the White House, it really frustrates me that the government is making it seem like you could just, go to lunch, walk out with a trade deal. It doesn't work like that. The way trade deals come together, they are often negotiated
Even if you prep before the lunch.
Even if you prep before the lunch, it will take months on a fast track, sometimes years, but definitely months to make sure all of the deliverables are in line. Every country knows what they're getting out of it. You're going back, making sure everybody's finance people are okay. And then the Congress on America's side underscores it. They are just hobbling these frameworks together. I don't understand, like a happy hour.
If the difference, and this is how you, I think, put it down, Lucy, if the difference between your costs and your ability to make a profit is 3%,
Yes.
and I impose a 10% tax on you, let alone a 30 or 140% tax, tell me, where do you make your money?
Yeah. You go out of business.
You go out of business.
You go out of business. And it's not just the product. And look, I spend a lot of time in a truly rural place where Walmart is the grocery store. It is the pharmacy. It is everything, right? And Walmart coming into that town has been the greatest thing, actually, for so many people in that town, right? So this is really going to hurt people. But as you say, Congress, right? But this Congress is abdicating their duty.